Greetings, Legionists. Arendelle here. So, I've got 3 things on the docket. The first one is something I'm super excited about, and the other 2 are, well, reality of life related. The first thing, you know what? So that I don't end the video on a low note, I'm going to talk about that last, actually. But anyway, the first thing, this doggone virus that's been going around. I might actually be susceptible to it. I don't know. I know I have severe breathing problems. I don't know what causes them. I've had numerous tests done across the board to try and figure out what's wrong with my lungs. Thus far, we haven't made any progress, and we were waiting on my wife to get health insurance over at her work, which has been delayed due to her being sent home due to this virus, and nobody's there doing the paperwork to proceed her getting that because we can't afford to pay for a sleep study, see if I have apnea, and pay for some sort of lung test where they would put me on a treadmill while they have stuff hooked up to my lungs and whatnot and have me run and see what happens and see why the inhaler they gave me doesn't work at all. Like, no effect. So, if I have asthma, that inhaler's supposed to work, but it doesn't. And so, they're just not sure what's going on there. So, I've got that whole stupid shenanigan, and I'm just like, I don't know if this virus would actually affect my lungs. I don't know if it would kill me. I mean, I've heard that the virus does affect the lungs strongly, so there's just that whole kerfuffle that I'm dealing with. Anyway, so I'm quarantining myself at home, you know, as I'm supposed to be. Except about a couple of days ago, reality was like, hey, so we got a little surprise we've been saving for you. It's called an earthquake. Yeah, I experienced my first earthquake just a freaking couple days ago. And I have to say that for the first 2 seconds, I didn't even know what was going on. I was literally just sitting here in this chair just going, why is everything shaking? And then it hit me. Oh, this is what an earthquake is like. And I spent the next 5 minutes under my desk thinking, well, this is a little ironic, isn't it? I'm sitting here trying to safely quarantine myself at home, keep myself alive and all that, and now my house might kill me if it collapses. Luckily, as you can see, it didn't. But still, there is that particular terrifying addition. And I'm just, like, wanting to figure out what's wrong with my lungs. I'm wanting, like, we've been waiting on my wife to get health insurance so that we can afford to pay for the sleep study, see if I have apnea, and see what my exercise-induced asthma is all about. There were 2 separate tests that we need to do on my lungs. There were other tests that were done, but all of them were inconclusive. So, yeah, I'm just befuddled. Anyway, so, yeah, my wife unfortunately has been sent home, of course, due to this virus, and all the paperwork making her full-time so that she gets health insurance has been delayed at just the right time, and they luckily are sending her home with pay, so she actually is getting pay, but it's only part-time pay because they're just not doing the paperwork to make her full-time and get the health insurance that we desperately need, or working her full-time. They were working her full-time right before it happened, but she wasn't technically full. It just, ugh. But essentially, whoever does the paperwork to make that happen, to make her officially full-time, must have gone home due to the virus or something like that right before they did it. So there's likely some paperwork that's just not filed in the right drawer somewhere, somehow, not missing one signature. I don't freaking know. And so we can't get this sleep study done and can't get the stress test, whatever they want to throw me on a treadmill and hook a bunch of things up to me and figure out what's wrong with my lungs and why the inhaler won't work. But moving past all that depressing news, because I know that we've all got enough reality going on right now. So if you're looking for a bit of escapism, oh, I've got some great news for you. I recently, through Cold Open Stories, published a fan fiction, an unofficial fan fiction, in other words, not endorsed by Games Workshop in any way, called, Vorakadence. and it is about the ship called Vorakadence. It's a Viper-class sloop that's 950 meters long and stationed at the Feltrius system. And the Feltrius system is, oh, wait a second. I never did plot out what segmentum it's in. I'm going to have to figure that out. But in any case, I am super stoked. I officially have, like, what's the words here? A novel published. I mean, a short story. Unofficially, in fan fiction. But still, I am super stoked! When I first saw the video and saw my name up there, yeah, it's hard to describe the feeling, but let's just say there was screaming involved. And this time, it wasn't terror-ridden or sadness. It was happy screaming. And I haven't happy screamed in a really long time. I can't actually remember the last time I happy screamed. I'm not sure if I've ever happy screamed. That might have been the first time I ever happy screamed. Well, in any case, I'm extremely excited, and I will be posting a link down below to it. But yeah, it's called Vorakadence by Benjamin Miller. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up really quick the short description of it. The Vorakadence is licking its wounds when a choice target, a supposedly unguarded enemy carrier, is detected. With orders to engage, the crew discovers how helpless it truly is. So, a bit of a lengthier description of that. Essentially, the Vorakadence Viper-class sloop, most of it, well, a good deal of its weapons are offline due to a battle with Chaos it recently had. And it's currently hiding out, recovering, licking its wounds when it receives orders to attack an unguarded enemy carrier. And the captain's just like, an unguarded enemy carrier? That just never happens. And he's just shaking his head going, no, like, this is too good. This seems too good to be true. So he's pretty sure it's a trap. But at the same time, he knows that the carrier is full up. It's filled with troops that, should they land on the planet, and there was over 2,000 armored units on that carrier as well. If those land, it's going to be havoc for the planet's populace, of course. Cities will be likely fall and burn, and countless people will die. And he's just sitting there going, I need my ship repaired. And yet he's received these orders, and he could just ignore them, pretend like they never showed up. But at the same time, that's not going to solve the repair problems that he needs. So with orders to engage, he does so. And I'm going to let you figure out the rest in the actual book itself. I personally am just like, I am so stoked to finally get one of my works out there. I am just so doggone happy. It's just like, words. You hear me? Words. In any case, I will be posting a link down in the description below. Please go check it out. I am just In any case, though, Cold Open Stories also has 9 other short fan fictions that they've, unofficially published on the site. So feel free to go and check those out as well. I mean 8 others. 9 in total. So 9 including mine. So yeah, Vorakadence, though, that one's mine. Benjamin Miller. I am so stoked. In any case, though, so that's what I've been super excited about, and I've been working pretty closely, well, as closely as we can with Colin DeGraff, working on a couple of changes right before it got published, and just had a little bit of a debate back and forth with him, and I sent him the finished product, I think, late Wednesday night. Yeah. And he, bleary-eyed and, super tired, worked on it. And, well, by worked on it, I mean he read through it, and he was like, okay, no, this works. And he posted it to the site, and then the following night, I believe, yeah, the following night, I believe that's when it published on March 20th around. I don't know if it was around midnight. Huh. Anyway, though, it is officially published now, and I am just super stoked. I finally got one of my pieces out there. I know I've said stoked like so many times, but it's the word that's just aptly describing my current situation. Yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, thanks everybody very much for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. I'm just like, arg. It's finally out there. I finally got one of them out there. In any case, I'm also, I need to actually start writing on the second piece for Vorakadence, because that story can definitely go places, I think. Or it might just be the next installment in the Feltrish campaign, because there actually was a pre-installment to Vorakadence, but it wasn't as easy of a read. It was like, when you read a codex, the stories that are in the codex, it was a lot like those. Which means it was a relatively hard read. It wasn't nearly as interesting as Vorakadence. So, yeah. I've never written like that before. It was really weird. But in any case. Alright, everybody. But thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any feedback on Vorakadence or anything like that, please leave it down in the comment section below, or any other thoughts or comments that you have. And thank you very much for tuning in. It is much appreciated. And, don't get into too much trouble or do. Always up to you. Toodles.